What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Next Layer podcast for another episode. Today, we got a whole plethora of really interesting topics that we're going to discuss under an hour, and we're going to get into a lot of great stuff. So, before we just jump into stuff, I know you guys are piling into the live stream. Subscribe, smash the like button, retweet this live stream out. Let's get to more voices. Let's connect with other people, because over here at the Next Layer, the one thing we're all about is connecting and working together. Bill the Bull, how are we doing today, sir?
Dude, doing really well, Just my nerves are a little bit up after seeing that Uniswap thing. I know it's probably nothing big, but you never know in this crypto world. Uh, Little things like that. Did you know, actually, for those that don't know, not a fun fact, but a fact that people should know, Uniswap has the ability to basically whitelist your token and can stop trading it forever. Literally, they have that power. So for those that think, oh, it's centralized or decentralized, it's really not. So, like, in the event that the powers to be decide, hey, I don't like your token, we're literally going to make it illegal for you to trade that token. Your shitcoin goes to zero instantly. So,
Yeah, absolutely. No, these are some great points. And, I was talking to Bill before this, and we're trying to figure out why we're having a glitch in the matrix with Uniswap. And so just starting off with that, man, I'm really curious to pick your thoughts with the stuff we got with Uniswap going on and how it can blatantly be censored or have some sort of censorship policy. How do you think this might impact this bull market, and what are some ways around it?
yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, regulations are going to come at some point in this market. It's just you're naive to think it won't happen. And, this is the cycle to secure generational wealth. And then honestly, just, get into like the stable Bitcoin, whatever, for the next, decade and stuff. So, and people always ask, like, hey, I don't believe that, Bill. Like, this market's going to go forever. There's always going to be liquidity. It's not really, because again, the moment you cancel out liquidity and you can't trade a project, especially a lot of these, 99% of these aren't on any centralized exchanges, it's done. It really is. So regulations are going to come. I truly believe it's going to be something where it has to be KYC for anything on a decentralized exchange like Uniswap. And I think MetaMask right now, I think I heard or I read somewhere in one of our groups that New York is being summoned or something with Uniswap. So it's starting to begin. So like I said, right now, put everything aside, do what you can, secure your wealth. Generational wealth is upon us, but the good times will fall at some point, and I believe it's going to be 2025 starting in March.
Absolutely. And just to build off what my homie Bill said, 2026 is going to be the year of the horse. Bitcoin was founded in the year of the rat. So there's going to be a mixing of energies if you're really big into whether numerology and astrology. And I'm fully behind him with his prediction on the blood moon. And I'm also fully behind his prediction with what we see in 2026. So I think as this market kind of still phases, we're going to keep this podcast going. We'll talk a little bit more about that stuff. But today, we got to keep it moving, my man. So we got 4 interesting topics. We're going to talk about the Polygon migration. We're going to get into some base meme coins. My boy Bill is going to chart some stuff. We got Titan X X28 maybe coming over to base, which is kind of crazy, but we'll talk about it. And then lastly, we got some PDI news popping up. I know you guys love it because we talked about PDI back in the day, and we'll give you guys our brief takedown, our brief reaction to the recent news. I don't know why I say takedown. So yeah, man. So yeah, let's just start off with this first part, man. And this is pretty big, and I don't see many people talking about it. So that's why we talked about this stuff with Next Layer. Polygon is migrating from Matic to Pol. Here's everything you need to know. Basically, they're doing a massive migration. They're going to be adding something called a zero Ethereum virtual machine. And so it's basically with zero knowledge proofs. It allows for privacy transactions on a layer 2 built on top of Bitcoin. This is going to be really huge because we saw a lot of good stuff with Polygon last market. It started off as a crazy scam and then turned out to be one of the biggest layer 2s ever and did absolutely well. Now, the big feature is your Matic tokens are going to be automatically converted to Pol, P-O-L tokens on the Polygon Mag network. And then on Ethereum, you have to do some sort of migration. So overall, man, it's actually pretty cool. So Bill, I'm curious to get your thoughts. What's your initial reaction about this migration, and what does this mean for the Polygon network?
Yeah, so when it comes to Polygon, we all know, and this is like a love-hate relationship. I remember in 2020 or 2019, I saw this thing at like sub 1 cent, or it was like, I don't know, something ridiculous, and I sold on just like a double, and I thought I was a genius, and that thing went up to like $4. So I always have a love-hate relationship with Polygon. But right now, this migration, I mean, let's be real. Polygons is nothing. No one gives a fuck about it, to be completely real with you. However, I think this migration is good to kind of generate a little bit more excitement. Now, what does this mean, or why you should care? This is what I'm thinking. Let me know what you think, Chris. So they're going to migrate. Every chain has to have a meme coin. That's the number one thing. That's just how you capture the attention. Base wouldn't be what it is without Brett. You know, Pulse Chain wouldn't be without like Teddy or Pete, those things. You know, you got Whiff with Hat or whatever, and all these chains have their meme coins. Polygon needs to have one. As simple as that. And also with Tron, with what's going on there. So after this migration's done, the actual effect of Matic to pull, I don't necessarily have any thoughts on that. I think once the pull is there, that's good. Now, I think though it's about time to front run what's going on in Matic and Polygon. And I know you have some thoughts on this. It has something to do with a man named Crashes Clay. I want to know your thoughts, Chris. Do you believe the 6th Infinity Stone will be on Matic?
I do. I really do. And you took the words right out of my mouth because I think we're at the same frequency right here, man. And 100% to start off, Matic layer twos. There's so many of these things, so it's a diluted market. You're right. You're right on the ball with that. So the meme coins is going to be the focus because that's what we like. No VC pump and dumps, yada yada. Keep it moving. Now, when it comes to these infinity stones, if you guys have been following the movie, there's like a red one, yellow one, and it just goes across the board. The final infinity stone is actually purple. And we've had some people speculate on these Twitter forums saying, like, hey, Crash was talking about in a past video that Matic might be a play. He was talking about Tron. Now he's talking about Matic. So, in regards to what you said, you nailed it perfectly. If there's going to be another 6th Infinity Stone, I would bet it's probably going to be on Polygon Matic. And now would be the time to start searching. Bill, just curious, have you dabbled at all in the Polygon ecosystem, or you just been too busy?
No, I've been too busy, but I did start dabbling in it earlier this year when it was airdrop mania back in like, I don't know, February, March, or January, February, whenever that was a new thing. And so it was first time in years that I went on Polygon. And so if you guys are interested in Polygon, I don't have a play on there. I don't have anything on there, but I do know that their main dex is QuickSwap. So it's kind of like the Uniswap. It's kind of like Pulse X of their version. So any coin that you want will be on QuickSwap. But yeah, man, I think, listen, Polygon has every bit of shot to have the 6th Infinity Stone. And for those that are fading Crash, you really shouldn't, because this guy literally just is the number one KOL and he moves markets straight up. So if you can somehow position yourself in a coin that he is going to actually label as a 6th stone, you are in for a treat. Now, the only question I would have is, does he do something existing on Matic, or does he create his own? Because obviously that's to be determined. That's what he did with Bull on Tron. I don't know, but I think once the migration goes smooth, then I'll start nibbling. But again, it's super down on my list of if it wasn't for the potential of Crash coming in on the 6th stone, I probably wouldn't be interested. But now that he is, I have to take a chance.
Hey, great point. And to whether or not how this plays out, we'll keep you guys updated on the next layer, especially when it starts cooking up. We might just come out with a list and look at narratives because we got people in a group researching this, and they're finding some very interesting things about potential mascots on the Mag network. But I'm gonna leave that for another live stream because we got to keep it moving today. Second segment, we got to talk about Base. Base is your bread and butter, your Twitter or X account, your brand, late night on Base. I'm seeing some awesome opportunities. We know this market's not over. Build the bull. What projects are you looking at on Base to get into?
Yeah, so listen, guys, for those that don't know me, I basically my show is called Late Night on Base. So obviously I'm extremely bullish on Base. I believe it's the number one layer too, but all these other layers that me and Chris talk about are very important too. So of course I like them a lot. But yeah, so on Base, I know a lot's going down, and to me, there's two projects that stand out, and they also have, in my opinion, they're as safe as possible, based on the team, based on the narrative, based on the people pushing it. But they're also different risk tolerances. So I'll give you two. One's going to be on a higher end. that, is probably the safest, because if this fails, the ecosystem fails, and I just don't see this failing. The other one's a lower market cap, which has potential of many, many X's. So the two, of course, I'm going to talk about are Brett and Miggles. Hands down, those are my two favorite for two different reasons. Brett is base. Brett has Crash is basically pushing that thing. That is his baby, one of his Infinity Stones. I mean, there's rumors out there that he's the one who created it. Whether or not that's true, not my concern. What is the concern is base needs attention. Brett is that one. The market has decided. It's around a 700K market cap, 720. We'll get into charting as well. Chris is showing some chart right now. It's a beautiful. I think this is like a 4-month downtrend, but it's a falling wedge. If you look at how that's created, it's a falling wedge, as Chris is going to show. I think it's gone down around 80%, and so in Elliott wave theory, that's about the corrective phase. It's finishing its macro wave 2. If you see how he's that exactly that yellow falling wedge is a bullish pattern. Once that breaks out, this thing is going to start its wave 3 and it's going to go parabolic. How high? I don't know, but this is the next month or two is what's going to make this thing go parabolic. It's at 720 million market cap. It can go as high as 40 billion. It could go 15 billion. I don't know. But then you're going to hit another correction, probably a long, long correction that'll last till mid next year. But to me, Brett is as safe as possible. They're doing so many big things. Their brand is very important to them. I do a live stream with a sports partner called Capital Block. They put them into the Euros, and they have just a lot of mass appeal. So for them, high market cap, that's the one. The last one I'll say is Miggles. Miggles to me is the perfect blend of like a 19-20 million market cap. And so for those that want something a little bit less but has potential, Miggles it is. Right, what you see here is a beautiful 5-way pattern. Same thing, the green up is first move. Then you have a 5 move down with a double bottom at the 818 or 88 fib. This thing is going to pop. The team behind Miggles is just top notch. They also have branding. They also have an amazing NFT collection. They understand what it takes. And again, with Coinbase pushing the actual Miggles narrative as well, whenever they want, it's just going to give added fuel to the fire. So to me, those are the two. I know I just chatted a lot. Viber fans have wanted to know about Crash. Quick thing about Crash. I do like Crash. I do think, though, there's a lot of overhead selling. I'm not as bullish on Crash as I'm Miggles and Brett, but I do feel that Crash can pump at any single time because the actual Crash is publicly shown his affiliation of like liking it and supporting it. And if Brett goes to these massive levels, what better way to rotate profits into its tribute coin? What do you think about my TED Talk right now, Chris?
Love it, man. Hey, I was just sitting here absorbing it in, just receiving the download. So appreciate the breakdown. Now, first off, Brett, there's a good chance that Brett could be the Shiba Inu in this run, and I do see a lot of meme coiners coming out and just fudding it, doing the typical BS stuff as usual. And then also on the flip side, Miggles is the key, and you really brought this up, especially how it retraced, hit the 0.88, which we have seen this bounce off of almost hundreds of charts. Well, not hundreds, that was a little bit over exaggerated, but a lot. I personally think Miggles with that cat and that advertising, that could be the mascot of Coinbase. That could be their little own brand image. People like cats, they like dogs. We haven't really seen cats do good in the last market. Why not can they do well in this market? And then the best thing I want to talk about with Miggles. Goo God, a very wise man, once said, "Show me the team, I'll tell you how the project will do." In my opinion, Miggles has such a great team. They're always interacting. X is blowing up. They're getting so much engagement across all social media. And when that translate into the hype phase of this market, in my opinion, Miggles can go anywhere from 100 to a $500 million market cap. And maybe we get closer to wave 5. We can talk about potentially testing that $1 billion level. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, this Guga 100%. You need to know who's behind the team, and it's the CTO from Miggles. But I know firsthand, the head people in charge, the people that make up the CTO are literally some of the top notch, most, well disciplined. They treat this as a real business. And shout out to OX Force, who is just an animal beast, one of the leads on running Miggles. And so if you have a project that's just, a bunch of kids running it, they don't care. You'll see with the chart, you'll see the selling. You'll see, you know, not the attention to detail, but Miggles is on is on a whole new level. And I'm telling you right now, I don't see Miggles failing. And I think this chart is just absolutely beautiful. I feel this thing, I'm targeting on this next leg up to about the 1.618 fib extension. That's probably a big target. And then you could probably have a multi-month correction. But honestly, it's at 20 million right now, 19, 20 million. So if the move runs up to like 200 million, will you guys really complain? Because I wouldn't. And then towards the end, the last leg, I do feel a 2 to 5 billion market cap is definitely in the cards. It's not going to go as high as Brett, I don't think, because Brett's already at its levels. But yeah, man, listen, I think the future is super bright. And just think about it, Chris. There is no liquidity at base right now. Just imagine what happens when another liquidity run happens on base. And I mark my words, guys, it's going to happen. Base is too good to fail. The community is better than most communities I've been a part of, and it's the most, I guess, well recognizable. Like I understand, Titanx has amazing community. Pulse Chain, for the most part, has good community, but like none of them have the on ramp as Coinbase. None of them have that I guess whole basically trump card of everything, which is Coinbase, and that's what everyone uses in the States. So, anyways, man, would you agree though with those before we move on to different segments? Your two also on base, Brett and Miggles, or do you have something else?
So to first off, I love Miggles, and in my mind, and this is what a lot of other guys are thinking that are pros. They're thinking, okay, I missed out on bread. It's a little high. What's a catch-up trade? And for those guys who don't know what a catch-up trade is, it's where you make an investment in a smaller meme coin or a smaller like market cap. You watch it explode, take your profit, and then rotate it into the number one meme coin. This is what we saw with like the boys clubs on like Blast and then Wolf on Avalanche. They did this for Brett. Now, what people are looking at for Brett right now on base is Miggles and a couple other coins. That's what I think Miggles is going to be. People are going to speculate as a catch-up trade and then use that as a way to increase their position. Now, I got something a little bit different, and this project hasn't launched yet, but let me just pull up the X account real quick. And this gets a lot into, well, this is the one I'm looking at because I think they're going to potentially launch sometime the next month or 2 months. I would bet my bottom dollar that our boy Bill the Bull, late night on base, we'll bring him on a live stream or YouTube video. But this gets into token creation platforms. The two biggest things are going to be in this bull market: meme coins and the platforms that create them. Pump Fund did well. SunSwap did well. And then we have, was it Ether Vista or Vista Ether on Ethereum? I so yeah, CZ, one of our other friends, is all about it. I don't know. But there's one coming to the base platform and to the base chain. And the name of this project is Blurb Finance. So Blurb Finance, keep it simple for you guys. It's basically an ERC 404 protocol. You have tokens that can be converted into NFTs. You can swap in and out tokens. You can swap in and out using the NFT marketplace. But they also have a token creation platform where all the fees go to buying and burning the token. Bill the Bull, after this brief statement about what Blur Finance is doing in the token creation platform, do you think Base needs a token creation platform? And do you think this will actually increase the meme coin activity on top of Base coming in this next leg up?
I mean, to be honest with you, not as much because they do have a token creation platform. A few. I mean, that's what Crash launched on. They used what did they use? They used one. There's a couple already out there, right? And so I don't feel. I mean, Blurb seems good, but like I wouldn't be as bullish as you are just because it's already been done. And I think at the end of the day, I think retail doesn't really care about, how much a protocol is making. I don't think they care about really anything except number go up, right? And they care about community vibes. So unless if like one of these launch pads can create some sort of mascot on its own that get people to really um rally behind, I just don't. I just think there's just, I think from a business point of view, I think if you're investing like in the actual company, not with a token, I think it's dope. But I don't know if I'm as bullish as you are on it, just because there's a bunch of other things. But I will say um, that you know, the more of these protocols that come up gets me a little cautious, right? Because again, that just leads to saturation of the market. And so I just feel that, if you're an investor or whatever, just keep an eye out on what's going on. And once you start seeing like every day, launches galore on even on like Solana, you need to kind of like take a step back. But then that does show that the cream of the crop will rise and the rest will get pushed to the side. And I just wanted to point out one thing that you said, Chris, that I did like. The catch up trade idea is so true. People feel like they've missed the boat on one of the biggest projects, right? So for on base, it's Brett. Oh, I missed the boat. 700 million, 800 million. I don't want it. So they go for the next best thing that's going to be lifted up. And so I do think catch up trade psychologically is something that, you know, is everyone can relate to. So I do see Miggles also having that catch up trade. I do want to give a shout out to DJ Ceramic. This guy is a Chad, one of the big trench warriors in the space. Shout out to you, DJ Ceramic, Solana warrior. Don't know how you sleep, but I appreciate you.
Oh man, he's a homie, man. And just go back on some stuff. Completely agree with you on the token saturation. I think with these new project protocols come out, you gotta be very selective. And the first thing you gotta think in your head is this thing gonna gain traction? Is this thing going to catch everybody by storm? And as most of you guys know, I'm a degen. I'm a risk it for the biscuit guy. Sometimes things don't work out and I get burned, and sometimes they work out beautifully and they start blowing up. So that's just the nature of the game. But the big thing that me and Bill do on this live stream is we aren't moon boys. We don't
Yeah.
agree on every single thing, and we're not going for every single project. If you guys bring us a project, we'll chart it. If we see a project we don't like, we'll just put it out there. So yeah, man, I agree 100%, and we'll just have to see how this rolls out. And Blur Finance, it might be a nothing burger, or it might be something pops up, and we'll be talking like it crazy in 2 weeks. So yeah, guys, check it out, and not financial advice.
But I think that's cool about me and you, man, right? I don't think sometimes like we might have differing opinions, but both of us, who knows, we're right or wrong. But I think it's cool for a show
Yeah.
that there's topics that we'll agree on, but you don't want everyone to always agree together. Then it's a boring ass show. You want different perspectives. You want to be able to like maybe think from a different point of view. So I do like that. Chris, I want to turn the tables and now get you on your thoughts on this. Now let's get into an ecosystem that you are literally the person that I think knows the most about than anyone I know. I know a lot of your followers love it. Let's talk Titan X, the Titan X
Yes.
ecosystem. Why don't we talk about that? Because I'll be honest, I never really cared too much about it. I had a minor back in, what was it, maybe August of last year because of the developer Jake, and I just let it sit and I just saw that thing just go crazy. But to my surprise, once I was able to claim my minor sometime a couple weeks ago, I was up. I was like, okay, cool. What are we doing? And then there started to be like rumblings, and you were saying, bro, check out, all sorts of things. Like I think there's like Jake X, you're talking about just like Inferno. And I was just like, whoa, and the price is showing. So Chris, tell me, man, why do you like Titanet's ecosystem and what are your main picks
Yes,
there?
sir. Yes, sir. Nah, I appreciate it. Shout out to the Tinex squad. If you guys are in this live stream, please share this out. Hit the like button. Show some love. Show some support. Now, before we get into the Tinex ecosystem, I want to give you like the 30-second rundown of what's going on with this project. So basically, Tinex has two main components. They got miners and they got staking, and it's basically designed so that when you use a miner, you create Titan X, and the miners start with Ethereum. Now that Ethereum goes into buying and burning the token supply, it's also used to pay out stakers who buy the Titan X staking supply, Titan X token, and stake it out into the future. If you guys want to check out the white paper, please look at it on your own time. Now, one of the key features that's really interesting about Titan X is number two, the inflation deflation model. Well, excuse me, number one, the inflation deflation model, and then number two, the projects that you can build on top of it. Titan X is designed to reduce its inflation by 55,000x from when it first started.
Oh,
On top of that, if you build a project and you burn Titan X on top of it, there's a burn pool as a project developer that pays you out TitanX tokens that you can use to fund your project or just pocket if you're a project founder. So the idea is it creates this capitalistic model on top of Ethereum through fair launch principles that also incentivizes economic activity so that you can continue to build on top of that. Does that make sense before I get to the next part of it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome. So the reason why I really love Titan X is because the project's being built on top of that. We just have the launch of something called the Inferno meme token. And basically, what Inferno is, it's a meme token on top of Titan X. You take your Titan X, you can mint the Inferno token for an 8-week period of time. And all that Titan X that's used goes into a decentralized buy and burn. After 8 weeks, that gets cut off. And then now we have all of that Tinex going in and buying and burning the Inferno token. Now, I want to show you guys something real quick. And once you see the numbers, it's going to make sense with this buy and burn that's creating. And to me, to be honest with you, man, I think just seeing this sells itself. Since Inferno's been minting, and this is a meme coin that I was talking about, it has a bounce of $800,000 worth of Tinex that's going to be used to buy and burn the Inferno token. Bill, any reaction to that?
I mean, my mind's a little blown. I think that just so like, is it for sure going to be used to buy and burn that? Like, it's like programmed, or is there's like chance it won't?
Oh no, it's for sure. There's a so if you connect your wall right here, you can actually call the buy and burn that's put up, and you get a reward for calling it.
The
S-
hell? So like, what happens? Like, I was just curious. So why? What stops someone from just wanting to claim 14 grand?
You said 14 grand. Where
Isn't that 14,000 user reward or of that Titan X?
14 $14.
Oh, for,
I was about to say. I was like, dang, bro, I'm about to get in
I
on
mean,
this.
I was like, we're gonna be like closing this live stream. Gotta go BRB. No. So if they claim it, so anyone could just do that at any time. Is that true?
Yeah, you can do it at any time. There is a burn period where it activates, so it's basically on a timer, and I believe it starts on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And what this is going to do is it's going to come in, burn up a little bit of the supply before, and
Yeah.
then users can come in and mint, but you claim the mint on Sunday, so you get that arbitrage opportunity. So what the team did was they do a mid-weekly burn, and when you have that arbitrage come in, people come in and mint the token because they're going to try to do a quick swing trade. And over time, it just accumulates. And then after this period of time, the buy and burn is just going to stay on a set period and then just continue to burn Inferno out until the rest of the bull market.
Amazing. Yeah. To me, I mean, Guga had said it the best. Green candles is your best form of marketing, right? And so as the price goes up naturally, people are going to say, "Oh my God, this could be the meme coin on Titan X," and that's kind of my philosophy. So right now, full disclaimer, I'm only in Inferno, but I want to go in with a little bit of size. To me, it makes sense. It's a bull. It's every chain needs to have their number one coin, and I think, and I don't like to like diversify too much, especially if I'm new to it. So if the numbers continue to go up, all the bulls on different chains, you have bull on Tron, bull on ETH, those do really, really well. So I really think this could be prime, man. And if I was Jake, I guess the creator of this Titan X ecosystem, and whoever is building on this, I think I would want to see this succeed because it gets eyes into literally everything that's going on. So, from my point of view, and again, I'm no expert on this ecosystem at all, that's how I view it. And look at a chart like that. I mean, this is ridiculously bullish, and you have all that buy and burn pressure. I'm very bullish on Inferno. Chris, obviously not financial advice, but where do you see this thing in 2 months market cap or by the end of the
So
year?
yeah, so I'm gonna answer that one question in 1 second, but I wanna just build off of what you just said about not being too diversified. Bill brought up a phenomenal point. If I come over here and I just hit the Titan X button, we're gonna track this price versus Titan X. So right now it's trading. a little bit sideways, but when this thing first launched, and if you came in and minted, you'll be up almost close to a 2x. Can you still hear me, man?
Yeah, loud and
Okay,
clear.
gotcha. So this thing is going to be up a 2x. Now the mint's kind of capping it a little bit, and I'll give you guys a better indicator of what could actually not. Well, I'm gonna show you guys another meme coin, but I'm trying to just talk about how when you get into one project with the Tinex ecosystem, the amount of Titan X in your position grows. So this is JakeX, and from the bottom, it did about a 60x versus Titan X. So rather than just holding solid Titan X, you increase your Titan X position by over 60x. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's wild. Wow, look at that gain.
Yeah, so that's the big thing I want to say, because when it comes to getting into all these projects, there's gonna I guarantee you, and I'm gonna say this right now, by the end of this bull market, I wouldn't be surprised if there's 100 to 200 projects built on top of TitanX, and you can get lost in the sauce very quickly. But every single project benefits the TitanX ecosystem, and there's nothing wrong with picking 1 to 3, or just even just picking one. And I think Inferno, build the bull, bullish on the bull mascot called Inferno on Titan X. Makes total sense. It's in the Matrix, baby. Let's
I
freaking
mean,
go.
the Matrix brought us together. It brought that it's a bull. Like I'm build a bull. I have to support a bull project. It just is what it is. I probably will eventually support Tron's bull as well because of Crash. But like on a 1.5 million, 1.8 million project like this, with 800,000 ready to go and buy and burn the hell out of this thing. Yeah, man. I mean, listen, this is all big master wave one. I think, and I do think there's the ratio trading will be happening at some point. Obviously, like with a pulse chain, sometimes people want pulse versus other stuff. The same thing will probably happen with this and Titan X. So I'm stoked, man. And if I make good money on this one, I have to give a shout out to you, my friend, because you
Appreciate it,
are in the
man.
trenches. Very few people are talking about the Titan X ecosystem, with the exception of the verse and Goo. So appreciate you.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate that. Good, great analysis. Now let's go back to your next question. You said realistic market cap with the buy and burn. So this is where things get interesting. You need to pay attention to the liquidity on this and how much goes into multiplying the liquidity. So when you double the amount in that liquidity pool, the market cap goes up exponentially. So if this goes up to about a 400K liquidity, this market cap is going to get squared, which is going to be 4. Now, if we double that again, that's going to get us closer to about 16. So on the low end and the more conservative end, the realistic end, I want to make this clear before I say my upper bound, because I know you guys are going to go crazy when I say my upper bound. I really do think we could potentially see something, I would say about 30 to 40 million. So I'll put it at 35 million. That's my lucky number, if you guys know what I'm talking about. And then on the higher end, I do think this could get to $100 million market cap as the buy and burn sets in and people start foaming in. Any reaction to that, Buildable?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely possible. I think that sounds like good target numbers. I'd have to, do some fib extensions, but I think up to 50 million is a pretty good estimate for a one wave move. Um, and like if you're someone in the space, you can't be a moon boy, right? Let's see, what does the 1.618 say from there? Do you know those two
Um,
numbers?
do you want me to give you a percentage up? Because
Sure.
like the so that's about 50% increase. So that will put us at about 3 million.
Gotcha. So I think with this kind of numbers, I think 30 to 40 million probably on this when the first move is completely done sounds reasonable and sounds pretty accurate. And yeah, man, I'm just gonna be in for the ride. I think though at some point it will have a correction just like everything else. But if you're in it for a longer term period, like who cares? So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see kind of the numbers it does.
Yeah, man. And hey, I didn't tell you the best part about Tie Next. So I think this is gonna get you really excited, because
Bring
you
it.
might need tie balls, because believe it or not, Tie Next could be coming to the base. Like, think about
Ooh.
that for a second. So I'm gonna draw this out because it makes sense with the I find that learning occurs when I just draw draw things out for people.
Sure.
So basically, how this works is we got this new protocol. It's called X28. And so X28 is going to be doing a series of auctions with the TineX token. This was created by Jake Sharp. And so how this starts is you got your Titan X TITX on ETH. And from there, what's going to happen is it's going to go through some sort of auction. I'm going to say this is AUCT. And through this auction or miner, it can be called a miner, but they're going to be very similar things. You can actually mint Titan X onto Base, Sol. What's another one? We'll say Optimism, and then the last one I put is Blast because I just love Blast so much. I gotta mention Blast. So, and there's going to be every EVM compatible chain onto every single one of these blockchains. Now, what's interesting is with X28, it's got a feature that hasn't announced yet where it's going to be deflationary. And so basically the theory is Titan X lives on Ethereum, but these X28 auctions and or miners is going to produce X28 on every single EVM compatible blockchain so that it's like a leverage play existing on different chains, and it's absolutely brilliant. And what's really great about this approach is if you ever want to build a DApp within the Tinex ecosystem and you want to put it on Base, you can do it with X28. You can do some sort of burn or do some sort of meme coin like we just saw with the X28 token, and it ties into the Tinex ecosystem. So long story short, what X28 is, it's an interoperable protocol. And I forgot to mention this one thing. It's actually using the layer 0 technology token. And layer 0 is just a fancy term for you can take this token and transfer from blockchain to blockchain. And with this X28 token onto every single blockchain, and you can just build on top of that. Build a bull. Any reaction to that?
I mean, this is pretty amazing, interesting stuff. I mean, it'll be really cool to see how things play out. I mean, what you just described sounds awesome. It sounds really complex, though. So, again, I view things as how will a normie take this into consideration? I think the normies will only care if number goes up. And so, but it does seem, in theory, what they're trying to do seems extremely bullish, and it will help number go up. So, I think I'll definitely be checking that out already. And of course, because you are, talking about it, and I trust your judgment. If you think this is a good idea, it's 8 first, research later season for me. So if you think it's a good idea, let's go. LFL. Wait, what's it? LFG. Let's fucking go.
I love it, man. I love it. And no, very good points. And here's my big thing with X28, because this thing can get very complicated. Bill's right on the ball, and he's thinking because he's on base, it's easy for normies, and that's the best approach. Now, the best way to really think about X28, it's like an extension of TineX on every blockchain. Instead of coming over to Ethereum, if there's gas fees, you can get on the base chain. And the way people make money through this protocol is 1, through the miners, and then 2, through arbitrage opportunities. So there's always going to be some sort of incentive for capital to move around. And as for the number go up technology, I'll just keep it very short and sweet. If TineX goes hyper deflationary, like Jake claims it's designed to be, I agree with him. Then X28 is going to reflect that on every single chain. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So, like I said, it's a beautiful work of art. I love how Bill brought up the Inferno Bull, because I'll be honest with you guys, out of all the projects right now in the short term, I am extremely bullish on this project. But also on top of that, there are a whole plethora of projects on this ecosystem. There's DAOs, there's sub communities. If you guys want to go check it out and interact with the sub community, there's Helios, Dragon X, or whatever. Check it out and see what's popping. So overall, man, I like Titan X. I think it's going to be a great play, and we'll keep you guys updated here on the next layer. And we also might see some more meme coins popping up in the future. So you might want to tune in, because we will do exclusive announcements of new meme coins launching on the next layer. It's not going to be on the verse. We're going to have a couple for the next layer, and then there's going to be a couple on the verse. So I'm encouraging you guys to be on every single live stream. So sorry, man, I didn't mean to go on a TED talk.
No, no, no. I love when you speak. I think since we have, let's if we're gonna move on to one last segment, because again, I have to leave probably 5 minutes early. But do we want to do? Let's focus on one or the other chains. What does it sound to you? We could either do the Pulse chain, what's going on with Pulse chain, or we could do what's going on with TRX Tron. What do you prefer? Both have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, you know, let's do Pulse chain because that one's kind of big with the curve DAO.
Okay, let's talk more about that. Again, I woke up to like not really understand what was going on. And so, ZZ was kind of like trying to fill me in. So you definitely lead the way. I just woke up though and I saw like 40% up for like PDI, 50% for Tropa. And so,
yeah, I got you, man. Here,
let's see what's going on. And for those that are wondering, I'm also very much into Pulse Chain, that ecosystem. Not Hex, but like last year, that's how Chris and I kind of met. We're very early on to PDI. Met a lot of really good people. Hasn't literally done anything since February, but what did they say? The longer it consolidates, the longer people think it's dead, the more the pump. And PDI has just begun, in my opinion. So eventually, I think Richard's gonna push this thing on his own.
Yeah, man, the pegging's coming back, baby. You know, when you think it's over, it always comes back when you least expect it. So I this is just part of the game. So I'll give you guys a quick breakdown, and I'm pulling up this tweet. So shout out to Decentralize Me. He's very similar to 900 Capital, phenomenal researcher, does beautiful video graphics. So coming over here, Richard Hart just moved USDC from Ethereum and PDI from MakerDAO and paired them up in the Curve AMA. AMA stands for Automatic Market Maker. The AMA for the newly released stable swap on PulseX. Now, with the stable swap, basically what this gets into is something called Curve DAO. Now, Curve DAO, I encourage all you guys to go look it up. I don't want to make this really complex, and we're very short on time. But basically, what Curve DAO does is if you go into the protocol, you put up some money, it will basically serve as an arbitrage between major stablecoin pairs, USDC, USCD, and DAI. And the theory is if one of the stablecoins depegs, the protocol will step in, take advantage of the arbitrage opportunities, and then pay that out to the user. So, for example, if DAI were to drop 5% and you have $100 in, then you basically get paid out $5 for bringing it back to peg through the protocol. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
So basically what's going on right now is back when Pulsechain launched, we saw the fork of every major ERC20 token. We saw Uniswap get forked. We saw MakerDAO. We saw Curve and the whole 9 yards. But for the Curve DAO, what we're starting to see is Richard Hart is interacting with the software code, and he's adding stable coins to the Curve DAO to create something called a stable swap LP, which is basically an LP that follows a dollar that's backed by bridge stables from Ethereum. Now, this is where things get crazy because what the research team is claiming, and I'll bring this up right here, is that PDI and other P stables are being added over to the Curve pool on Pulse Chain, which is going to help assist it come to peg. And then on the flip side, he's been interacting with the Curve DAO on Ethereum, and he's been basically using that to earn yield to bring it back into Pulse Chain. Build the bull. A lot of moving parts going here. What is your initial reaction to this news, and what do you think is going to and what does this mean for PDI?
Well, I mean, anytime there's posts like this from people who are actually like knee deep in it, it shows that it's not forgotten. It shows to me that there's still the thesis is correct that Richard Hart understands in order to make his chain relevant, he needs to have the stables peg. Right now, no one cares about Pulse Chain, unless if you're a maxi. But even if you're a maxi, it's hard to be like, why would I care? The one thing that Richard has is the ability to create the pegging, right? And so anytime there's news related to that, activity related to that, whether it's verified or not, it shows that the theory is getting closer to where it needs to be. And there's no And my theory is, and again, I think like a normie, right? No one will care about Pulse Chain unless if there's activity going on and there's a narrative that doesn't exist anywhere else. The PDI theory of pegging, the PRC's pegging, that is only on Pulse Chain. You don't have that on Base. You don't have that on Titanx, or maybe Titanx, but like Base, you don't. You know, all the bigger ones, you don't have it. So that's its like native sauce, right? And so I'm extremely bullish. Has it in theory, this makes sense to me. And again, he has, how much does he have in his sacrifice fund? Like 500 million, or what does he have, Chris? Do you know?
Man, I need to double check, but I think it's
A large amount.
I think it's close to a billion. Last I know, he owns about 15% of the EDI supply.
Yeah.
So if we look at it, there's about 23 billion EDI in circulation. So it's probably close to a billion. But guys, fact check us on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and I think so when I look at that, then I look at the chart, I was looking at the PDI chart and it hit the 888 again fib. So in my opinion, not financial advice, it's worth having a speculative ad on PDI if you only want to go into one ecosystem or one particular project on an ecosystem. I think PDI is the right play because if it does peg, once it starts breaking its all-time high, then you're going to start hearing the narrative, "Oh my god, what if this pegs? What if this pegs?" And it's going to run fast because people have a number in mind, and all the PRCs are going to go into. Chris, let me ask you this: with the PRCs and Pulse Chain, what other P stable or P copies do you like? There's PDI. Are you also into Atropa, PWBTC, Aave? What are some of your favorite ones? Teddy.
I'm a big fan of Aave. You got the lending protocol, and there's evidence to suggest that Richard has been interacting with it. So how I see it is, if we see the PDI stuff come to fruition, the next logical step is get into Aave. That's just how my mind thinks. So I enjoy that. I'm a big fan of USDC, PUSDC, and PUSDT, but I put that in liquidity pool. So you pair it up with Wrap Pulse, you just earn fees from trading. So it just builds, 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 builds. And then as for meme coins, I'm a huge fan, dude. I love Teddy Bear. I know it's going to be, I have a feeling it's going to be the number one meme coin. Normies will see that and be like, dude, a teddy bear? We haven't seen that in the market yet. And all the stuff behind it. That's a great one. And then my personal favorite, and, shout out to the Alien crew. I love the Alien token. So, Bill, I just gave you my quick breakdown of the ones that I like. Give us some coins you like, man.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest position actually on Pulse Chain is Atropa. And the reason why I feel, I don't know if that was the right move, but I think Atropa, Maria has been saying target of about $7. So I'm bullish on PDI, but I'm also bullish on Atropa. I think Atropa will move faster than PDI because of whatever reason. So that's my biggest one. I really love. I like PWBTC. I think it's easy narrative. It's just like, hey, this is going to be Bitcoin and it's going to be pegged. And I think if liquidity comes in and the PRCs stay pegged first, there's going to be massive amounts of liquidity. Where that money is going to go to, I think it's going to go into the other PRCs. And yeah, I love Teddy Bear. I think Teddy Bear and PulseX, but Teddy Bear to me is the number one meme coin on that. It's really relatable. I don't have any of the alien token and that whole ecosystem. I think it's still good. But to me, Teddy Bear, if the numbers go up there, Teddy Bear will go to parabolic heights, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And it just goes back to what we really preach in these ecosystems. You don't have to go too crazy on every
Exactly.
single token, because to be honest, if Pulse Chain does well, all the tokens that I just listed and Bill just listed are going to do well in correspondence.
Yep.
So, hey man, I love your list. I think we really nailed that on the head. And yeah, man, I think that's all we got for PRC 20. So
Do you want to give any alpha as to what we got planned for next week?
yes. So we got a big announcement. Me and the homie have been putting in the work and networking with these guys, and we are going to bring the founder of the Manta Network onto the next layer next Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look out for the post. His name's Victor, and I'm really, really excited to bring him on. It's gonna be cool. We're gonna talk about the chain. We're gonna ask him the tough questions. We're gonna get his thoughts on meme coins and the whole 9 yards. Bill, you excited about this news? And what do you think would be great to talk with him? That was a weird
Yeah,
question.
I mean, I'm extremely excited for it, and I think you deserve, you and your partner deserve the massive credits for getting someone of that stature on. I think, I think it'll be good conversations because, like, people like me, I don't know much about Manta at all, and I want to learn, and I want to be able to bring the spotlight for what they're working on, and it's conversations like that that can help us learn more. Again, for those that maybe don't know much about that network, what's going on? Why is he inspired to do it? What kind of projects are building on there? And again, it's going to be good, and it's good alpha for those watching because I'm sure you'll get a piece of wisdom or two of what we should be looking out for. So I'm excited, and first thing I'll be asking him is what is his favorite coin on Manta because I'm all about memes on every chain.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I'm excited, man. I love it, dude. And hey, so you guys definitely tune in next week. That's gonna be a very big one. You know, me, Bill, and Build the Bull. We're gonna talk to this guy, and man, I can't wait, man. So yeah, outside of that, guys, I think that's all we got for the live stream. Bill, you got anything else, man?
No, everyone, appreciate you all for tuning in. These are so fun. I really look forward to these weekly episodes, Chris. If you guys have nothing to do and you want another show, about 10 minutes from now, I'm doing a live stream regarding mental health and crypto and how to best deal with it. We have some experts coming on different projects because mental health is extremely, we can all relate to it. It's real, burnout's real, stress is real. So if you want to just be around a safe place with other projects and people talking about best practices, come join us. Otherwise, see you all next week.
Yes, sir. And like I said, guys, please support my homie. Follow him on Twitter, follow him on his YouTube channel, like all his posts, tweet it out, spread the love and good energy because it will always come back to you in a positive manner. All right, guys.
Chris, did you watch the Jesse interview I just posted yesterday? You should. It's pretty dope.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. I definitely need to get into that. Oh, dude, you get me excited. I'm gonna do this right after this live stream now.
Yeah,
So
it is a banger podcast. So if you're interested in the base ecosystem, it starts from the top. Shout out to Jesse. Take 20 minutes of your time, and I think it's well worth it.
oh yeah, absolutely. And then I saw a couple of the clips you put out on X. Phenomenal. Talk about his life story and stuff. So if you guys want to know the inner workings with Jesse and all the stuff he's doing, please check out the interview because I'm gonna watch it right after this. And we're gonna talk about it in a future live stream because there's always gonna be something to unpack. So awesome, guys. Well, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.